Ano na natanggal na si House Speaker Martin Romualdez, pero makikita mo yung galawan na pinatawag sa Malacanang, na yung parang asan yung separation of powers ngayon, 'di ba? Na ang papalit dun sa first cousin ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay yun isa pang Marcos loyalist na who's also part of a political dynasty. Alam niyo man mga D ng Isabela, dekada na yan diyan na very well entrenched doon sa probinsya na yon. Talagang namumuro na kasi parang nag-empake na from his office itong pagbaba sa pwesto po as House Speaker ni Martin Romualdez. Hindi ko alam pero ang sentimiento ng mga tao nakadirekta talaga at ito ay there's a public outcry for it. Kayo, what do you make of this? Dahil nga pinatawag na daw sa Malacanang at kinausap na nung kanyang first cousin na si Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos. Professor.
Well, it's a good thing that the president already intervened in this issue, because I don't think the speaker in his own volition will actually step down from his current position, given the fact that his name is already being dragged into this flood control fiasco. And siguro ang mas mahalaga natin ditong makita the president is somewhat trying to give us the image that he is on top of the situation and that he would want everything to be under control. And true enough, this is one decisive way by which magkakaroon talaga tayo ng mas maayos siguro na investigation sa hinaharap, because the very speaker which is of course implicated already in this scandal is actually already being asked to be replaced by a new one, a new speaker. And sana lang ang mangyari rito is yung public outcry na binabanggit nga natin at yung sentimiento ng taong bayan mag-resonate talaga sa mas maayos na leadership this time around. Although kung makikita po natin yung napipinto na pagpapalit at yung tao na matunog na papalit, the congressman na mukhang siya talagang papalit, and I'm referring to Congressman D. I think is also a good friend, a close friend of the speaker, and is also from the same political party as that of the president. So I hope that this is not just an appeasement on the part of the president, but rather dapat magkaroon talaga ng very good institutional change na mangyari dito sa lower house.
Pero Professor, marami pong spekulasyon pa rin kung paano bababa si Speaker Martin Romualdez. May balita na he will take a leave, may balita na mag-a-assign. Alam naman natin po, supposedly, di ba, dapat po dyan sa Congress, meron kang majority para ikaw ay halal, para ikaw ay maging Speaker of the House. So, can you shed light, what are the possibilities of him stepping down? Does he have to be ousted? Is it voluntary? Is it a leave? Ano ba sa mga terminology paano ho ba yun?
Yeah, if he's going to actually step down from the position, definitely there will be a vacuum, and then the House will definitely have to convene so that they will be able to elect or to choose from among themselves who will be their new speaker. Pero the way I see it, kasi this has already been previously, I think as early as yesterday, I was actually in the Congress yesterday, and I think there were already moves, and there were already may mga umuugong na talaga na magpapalit na nga. So I mean, alam na talaga nito, alam na talaga ito na mangyayari in the first place ng ating mga congressmen, and I think it's just a matter of parang formality na lang yung mangyayaring pagpili ng kanilang magiging speaker later on. I think it's going to happen this day most likely.
Okay.
Okay, yung binabanggit mo kailangan magkaroon ng malawakang mabuwag kasi yung sistema ng corruption that has been deeply entrenched, at ngayon nga natin nakikita kung gaano kalawak yan. So yung institutional change na binabanggit mo, baka ang yung pangamba ay parang halos nominal lang yung pagpapalit, pero ganun pa rin yung sistema. Yung binanggit mo na institutional change, magkakaroon ba ng palitan din sa mga chairmanships ng mga komite? Dahil papasok pa lang ng 20th Congress. O baka same old lang, Professor?
Yeah. Well, any kind of leadership change, Ali, both in the lower and in the upper house, is always a political earthquake. No, expected na natin yan talaga na may magkakaroon ng mga leadership changes, particularly to sa mga powerful committees. Expected na rin natin na maaring magkaroon ng mga pagbabago pagdating doon sa legislative agenda na maaring ilatag. These are all part and parcel of a leadership change. But I think what is important here is for the incoming speaker, number one, to control the narrative, no, and to explain to the public why the change was necessary and what he intends to do with the current position that he actually have in his disposal. What are yung mga sweeping mechanisms of change in terms of the modalities na i-institutionalize niya rito sa lower house, at kung paano niya talaga ina-navigate yung kanyang liderato dito sa lower house. It's also imperative that he must be able to consolidate from among competing power blocks dito sa lower house, particularly yung mga loyalist supporters ng outgoing speaker, at ganun din naman yung mga dissenters, no? So it's important that he must be able to consolidate this if he really intends to have a very good and smooth sailing leadership dito sa Kamara.
Oo. Professor, one thing that also I'd like you to shed light on is aside from the speakership, no, Mayor Magalong has named 67 contractors. So how does this also parang affect, no, the House of Congress? Kasi nga aside from the speaker, nadawit na po siya, no, and then many others also. What will happen to this if they're proven, no, na talaga sila po ay mga contractors and they benefited, you know, because of their position, they were able to bag all these multi-billion peso contracts. Paano ba yun? Sila rin ho ba? Pwede bang silang magbitiw? Kung may public clamor, kasi nga ito, no, si speaker kumbaga because of the public clamor para wala na siyang choice, no, even the president said nobody will be spared. But how about the others po?
Well, basically, number one, ang talagang rule of thumb dito, ideally, in an ideal world, is dapat talaga by virtue of delicadeza, once your name has already been implicated, kinakailangan talaga mag-step down ka na in order for, yung conflict of interest, para mawala yun, at para talagang mas maging maganda yung paghulong ng investigation. Pero yun nga, ang problema ay marami sa ating mga kongresista, at hindi lamang kongresista, even our public officials, I don't think they possess that virtue at the moment, yung delicadeza na yan. So, ang mangyayari dito most likely is they may be filed an ethics complaint sa ethics committee, and then from there po pwede talagang magkaroon ng mga sanctions, in most cases suspension, while the investigation is going on. And if it comes to the point na talagang mapapatunayan na talagang may direct involvement sila, doon po pwede na talagang magsampa ng mga kaso, no? So, first, ombudsman for case build-up, later on sa Sandigan Bayan, para talaga malitis sila, no? Kasi hindi sila removable by impeachment. The Constitution does not have a mechanism to remove them by virtue of impeachment because they are the ones who are initiating the impeachment, no? So, pero meron pa rin naman paraan para sila ay mapanagot, lalong-lalo na kung sila talaga ay mapapatunayan na may pagkakadawit dito sa malaking issue na to, no? Yung flood control fiasco na to.
So pwede mag-leave? Pwede na lang sila mag-leave?
Yes. In their own volition, they may be able to do that, no? Pero syempre, pag nag-leave ka, in most cases, some of the benefits that you're enjoying, the privileges mo, wala rin yun. Suspended din yun. And more importantly, syempre, kapag naka-leave ka, yung direct influence, no, doon sa institution, mawawala din, diba? Sa distrito mo.
Okay, Professor, I want to know your thoughts on the timing of the change in the House speakership. Na itong time before the September 21 trillion peso march, na pagdating ng linggo, parang, to placate the Filipino people, no? Natanggal na si House Speaker Martin Romualdez, pero makikita mo yung galawan na pinatawag sa Malacanang, na yung parang asan yung separation of powers ngayon, 'di ba? Na ang papalit dun sa first kasi ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos ay yun isa pang Marcos loyalist na who's also part of a political dynasty. Alam niyo man mga D ng Isabela, dekada na yan, dyan na, very well entrenched doon sa probinsya na yon. So yung time na yan, and then another Marcos loyalist taking over the speakership of the House.
Yeah. Actually, ito nga binabanggit ko, no? Para siyang nagiging, para siyang, it can be taken as an appeasement on the part of the public na para bang, sige, dahil nanawagan kayo, eto na, bago pa mangyari yung malawakang protesta nyo, yung pagkilos nyo, eto na, inunahan ko na, tinanggal ko na, no? At pinalitan na natin ng ibang tao. Pero sa totoo lang, ako naniniwala ako na medyo, na talagang there is really the direct hand of the president here, no? Especially with the choice of the incoming speaker. This Congressman D, as we know it, is also hails from the same political party as that of the president, and a very close friend also of the outgoing speaker. So yun nga, para lang sabihin na nagpalit ng anyo, nagbagong bihis, pero maaring yun pa rin naman ang mangyayari sa loob. Although sana hindi, sana ako naniniwala naman ako that the incoming speaker will definitely be able to use his position in order to really create good modalities of better governance away from the predecessor's image, and reputation. And actually, pwede niyang gamitin na to, to really craft his own brand of leadership, away again from the Romualdeses and the Marcoses. So I think yun yung titignan natin in the coming days. Pero para sa akin, parang kung maganda siguro dito, kung ano ilagay natin, yung mga tao, mga congressmen that have been very vocal about their anti-corruption stance, like Congressman Toby Chanco or several other congressmen who has been very vocal nga about this entire thing. Siguro mas naging maganda yung pagtanggap ng publiko. Pero dahil nga si Congressman D yung inalagay natin dito, baka yung perception medyo lukewarm din yung ating pagtanggap dito.
So bigyan natin siya ng pagkakataon, kung matutuloy nga na siya yung siya ang papalit kay but let's not celebrate just yet.
Right. That's true. Well, it's a small victory, I would say. It's a small victory for the people kasi yung clamor natin napagbigyan to some extent. And yun nga, like I said a while ago, it's the perception that the president is trying to project here, the optics that he's on top of the situation and that he's not taking these things lightly. Talagang gusto niya na maging decisive siya at this point in time para talaga ipaintindi sa atin na hindi basta-basta tong issue na kinakaharap natin, and that he really would want to lead the country in this mess that we're in at the moment.
Oo. Kasi I wanted to agree with, I agree with you, na medyo ako si Congressman D nga hindi mo nga nasa radar natin, di ba? Tapos I just read up on him because nga his name is being floated nga as the next speaker, may kaso pa nga siya as vice governor. But isn't this also going to be detrimental also for the House, wherein now you want to start on a clean slate, then you're going to put a leader, the perception nga, baka weak nga, baka maging rubber stamp lang ngayon ng House of Representatives. And then yun na nga, sabi mo nga, sana somebody who's more vocal, like Congressman Toby Tiangco, but he said nga, he didn't want it because aside from being related by affinity to the president also, baka sabihin kaya siya nag-iingay because he wants it, So siya na mismo nang tumanggi. So yung choices ho ba, is it only because the president wants somebody that he can control, even if they're supposed to be independent of each other? Aside from those who are very vocal, was there anybody else na you think who can fit the bill? Kasi parang ngayon, itong mga kongresista, wala talaga natin masasabing, kumbaga, meron siyang qualities of being a speaker Like the times of maybe Joe De Venecia or Mitra, di ba? Meron ka bang napupusuan dyan, Professor? Personal choice mo, at least a short list? Or they're all trapos na?
It's really hard to say at the very least. Pero I think there are some people in the minority na pupwede sana. Pero siguro Congressman Ungab,
Ungab?
Congressman Lipanan, yeah. I think possible. Kasi kinakailangan din dito yung yung syempre
Statesman.
kinakailangan you're already ripe of age, no. Kinakailangan medyo meron ka na ring sapat na experience, of course skill set is very important here, and the ability to maneuver,
To play.
especially na ang dami-daming miyembro ng lower house. So it's really quite difficult to do that, especially kapag kagaya nito, no, yung impression na itinalaga ka ng pangulo or nagkaroon ng haggling dito para lamang mailagay ka sa posisyon, mahihirapan din siya na mag-consolidate, lalong-lalo na doon sa miyembro ng minority at yung mga kumakalaban talaga dito sa dating speaker. So yun ang mga tinitignan natin dito. I'm sure naman that there are still a lot of people in the lower house that really mean good public service. Kaya lang kinakailangan kasi yung right mix, no. Kinakailangan doon talaga. Pero who knows? Ako I still would want to give the speaker, the incoming speaker, the benefit of the doubt, and we may be wrong in our speculations at the moment, and I hope we're wrong, and that he will be able to turn things around for the better.
Okay.
Okay, Professor, let's look at the bigger picture, ha? Yung mga nakaraang kongreso. Maugong na yung galawan dyan sa mababang kapulungan was because may presidential ambition itong si Martin Romualdez come 2028 na natatakbo siya laban kay Sara Duterte, at yung mga galawan perceived to be dahil nga kasi gusto nang patayin yung yung pagtakbo ni Sara sa 2028. Andyan yung pagsiyasat, no, doon sa kanyang confidential funds na by comparison ngayon, kung 1 trillion yung ninakaw sa sa flood control projects, parang wow, ang liit pala nung 611 million, di ba? Baryang-barya na compared to doon sa mga ninakaw ngayon itong mga tiwali sa Kongreso. So, not to trivialize kung talagang nagkaroon ng anomalya doon sa kanyang paggastos ng kanyang confidential funds. Pero looking at the bigger picture, how is this going to play out? Dahil pati yung kanyang, di ba, yung ang dami niyang mga si House Speaker, yung AKAP, ginamit niya para doon sa sinusulong niya yung People's Initiative, hindi ba? So, maraming yung galawan sa baba na talagang, you see, ang when you analyze it, in support of his presidential ambition. So, ngayon na mangyayari ito, na namumuro na, that he's going to step down as House Speaker. How is this going to play out sa bigger picture?
Well, ako kasi, being a Catholic country predominantly, tingin ko this is more of a deliverance for us, or divine providence to some extent. na bunyag itong flood control na to, and I think it's the handwork already of God na by virtue of nature, na ipinakita sa atin na bilyon-bilyon na pera ang inilagak dito at ipinangalandakan ito sa atin ng Pangulo ng 2024 SONA, pero a year after ito bumalaga sa atin yung matinding pagbaha, and true enough, it created that sense of awakening and the kind of sentiment sa publiko na hey, something's wrong, something is really not the way it should be, and the people that orchestrated this, are supposed to be penalized for this wrongdoing, At kung titinan nga natin, I fully agree with that, ginamit yung AKAP, yung TUPAD, yung AIX, 4Ps, and everything, lahat ng ayuda para to somewhat appease and silence the people, while they are silently creating all of this parang stealing from the coffers of the government. And kasi for as long as yung mga tao na nasa laylayan, medyo tahimik sila kasi nakikinabang sila, maaaring yun yung kanilang perception, na bigyan natin sila ng kaunti, so that they will remain with us and they will be support of us kasi nga nakikinabang sila, habang tayo naman patuloy nating gagawin yung dapat nating gawin, which is to siphon a lot of money from the country's coffers. And I really don't know kung nasan ba talaga ang konsensya ng ating mga leader, bakit nila nagagawa ito. And we're not just talking here of millions. I think the millions here is being dwarfed at the moment because of this billions and trillions of pesos that we're talking at the moment. Kasi just to give you a context, no, pag sinabi natin kasing billion, that's 999 million, dagdagan mo pa ng 1 million. That will make it a billion. So I don't even know how they're able to sleep at night and having this big money.
Yeah.
Diba?
Pero Professor, ito, no, your thoughts. Kasi nga, hindi mo talaga matanggal na si Speaker Romualdez is pinsan ng ating presidente. Does the buck really stop with him? Kasi hindi, the narrative, sabi mo nga, they are controlling the narrative. Isn't also the president also in a way complicit? Because nga, itong mga tupad, itong mga akap, no, may basbas ba ito ng Malacanang? Talaga ba hanggang kay Speaker Romualdez lang ho ba? Ang mamamayan ba talaga kumbaga ay naniniwala na walang alam ang ating presidente? Or talagang kusa ginawa ito ng speaker na walang basbas po ng Malacanang? How do you control, how is the narrative playing out?
Well, I believe the president signed the 2025 GAA despite of and in spite of these insertions na nakita naman niya at the onset, and by this measure alone, masasabi natin na alam niya na meron talagang ganitong mga insertions, may mga ganitong irregularities, and yet he still went with signing it. So I believe that the buck does not really stop with the speaker, because when you look at the idea of command responsibility, diba? Kumbaga, ituon natin halimbawa dito kay President Duterte na kung saan ibinibingtan natin yung EJK sa kanya kasi nga it's a command responsibility. So what makes it any different this time around na nangyari itong mga pagnanakaw na to, yung pagsimot sa ating kaba ng bayan within the auspices and the watch of the President. And this happened with the DPWH, which is supposed to be a part of the cabinet, the DPWH secretary being the alter ego of the president, it's part of the executive department. So I really find it very difficult to reconcile the idea na hindi ito nalaman ng ating Pangulo. Maaring alam niya, pero yun nga kumisan yung inaction on his part, o yung maari yung sinasabi nga natin that dissent without action is also consent at the same time. So maaring ganun din yung nangyari.
Okay. Maraming salamat po, Professor Froilan. Always very incisive and very informative po ang ating naging talakayan. Thank you again for accepting our invitation.